Hello, I'm Jim Schwelk, and welcome back to Amplified Treasures, a channel dedicated to all types of music gear. In this episode, we'll be looking at a 59 Gibson Les Paul Standard Custom, a 59 Gibson Les Paul Standard Custom Shop reissue. It's a made-to-measure VOS, and it is a Murphy Lab lightly aged in a gorgeous satin southern fade finish. Just simply gorgeous. These pictures, this video isn't going to do it justice of how great this guitar looks. It is lightly Murphy Lab aged, very, very lightly. We'll take some pictures and zoom in on the aging. It's a satin finish. Of course, it has the custom plate on the back. But this guitar is probably one of the smoothest, lightest for what it is. Not only for what it is, lightest guitars I've played in a long time. And it's kind of new to my collection. So let's talk about how it became mine. Like I said, this is a 1959 reissue. It's a made-to-measure guitar from the Gibson Custom Shop. So it does look like a normal standard, but it's much more than that. It's a custom shop. This guitar was purchased brand new from Guitar Center Nashville. And I want to give huge props to the vintage manager there, Tony. Thank you very much for helping me out. I highly recommend anyone that wants a vintage guitar, a high-end guitar, or both, to go ahead and give Tony a call at Guitar Center Nashville. Amazing person to work with. So the story about how I acquired this guitar. Metallica, as you know, I'm a huge Metallica fan, if you haven't noticed. They were playing in Nashville. And I have a lifelong friend that lives in Nashville, professional drummer, studio musician, touring, all of that stuff. He's living the dream. I couldn't be more proud of him. He lives in Nashville. And we decided we were going to hit up the Metallica shows together. I flew out there Wednesday night. The Metallica shows, for some reason in Nashville, were Thursday and Saturday instead of the normal Friday, Sunday. So Thursday, by the time I got out there Wednesday, not much time to do anything except hang out. So Thursday, we went to the Metallica show. And Friday, we went and looked at guitars and music gear and drums and everything. I have to say, I love Nashville. It's definitely on my short list of places to retire to. It's just an awesome city, especially as a musician. It's an awesome city. Our first stop, which I was really, really looking forward to, was the Gibson Garage, right? Everything I've read about it, everything I've seen online, the pictures, I just couldn't wait to step foot into this store. I walked in, I was excited. They greet you right at the front with this display of Kirk Hammett's guitars. Of course, the newish black Beauty guitar that was just re-released. And of course, the Greenie. And then his V right when you walk in. Now, they might have done that because it was Metallica weekend and they were expecting a lot of Metallica fans. So they put his as soon as you walk through the door, which would make sense. I'm not sure what they would have as soon as you walk through the door on a non-Metallica weekend. I would think maybe still his. and guitars floating around the ceiling. It was beautiful. But I was a little disappointed in the sales and everything else in the store, right? You walk into a music store, Guitar Center, Sam Ash, when they were around, and you can pick up a guitar and start playing it. I was really hoping that I could pick up some guitars and play them, and they had very, very few guitars around that you could play. The rest they weren't letting anyone touch. Again, maybe it was Metallica weekend and they knew they were going to get a lot of people that were coming in just to look and to play and not to buy. I was looking to buy something. I mean, I'm in Nashville. I'm in basically the Gibson capital without being in the factory. I plan on buying something. So it was a little disappointing to me. In their defense, I didn't go around asking everybody, hey, can I play number 56? Or, hey, that one up there, number 70, can you get that one down? You know, I didn't want to put people out either. I did ask a few questions about what they had in stock. Nothing that I was asking, they really had. So I bought a couple t-shirts and we left. And then we went to Carter's Guitars. And I have to say, that store is amazing. They had a lot of stuff that I wanted to buy, but nothing that really grabbed my attention, right? I play that store, you can actually pick up guitars and start playing them, which is what you should be able to do. And then we went over and visited my friend's buddy who runs the Guitar Center high-end room. He's the vintage manager, Tony. I have to say thank you to Tony. So, funny story. We walk in there, and we're BSing because, you know, my friend Jeff and Tony go way back. So we're all having a good time. And he says, hey, do you want to see anything? I said, yeah, I'm looking for a 59 custom. I don't like the 50s necks, but I've heard the customs are way different, but I've never played a 59 custom. Do you have a 59 custom? And he kind of chuckled and said, boy, do I have a 59 custom. And he grabbed this one off the wall right here. And as soon as, well, first I looked at it and it wasn't what I was wanting. I wanted a black 59 custom, but I mean, this is gorgeous and I'm going to play it. He handed it to me, and the first thing I noticed about it when he handed it to me, I almost smacked myself in the face with it, right? I almost did that, because if anyone knows anything about vintage guitars, vintage Gibson guitars, they're heavier than hell, man. So I was expecting something heavy, and I was putting some muscle into it. When he handed it to me, I was like, whoa, this is light. And he kind of laughed because he saw me jerk a little, and he goes, it's light, huh? So he spec'd this guitar out. And like I said, it's a made to measure. He spec'd this guitar out and ordered it from Gibson. And he was shocked when this came in. It's 8 pounds, 1 ounce. No weight relief. So the reason is it's made from lightweight mahogany. Okay, and it's got a 2-piece figured maple hide glue fit top. Of course, it has 1-ply, I think they call it Royal Light binding. And again, it is Murphy Lab, slightly aged, and it's got a satin nitro finish. Being a 50s, they actually classify this neck as a 50s rounded medium C neck. It is not. In my opinion, this is a thin C. I have thin U's from ESP. I've got a 60s Les Paul Standard, a 50s Les Paul Standard. The 50s definitely are baseball bats. They're thick. I wouldn't even say they're C. They're more like a D, you know, like just thick. So that's the second thing I noticed. First thing was the weight. The second thing I noticed was how thin and nice the neck is. Even up here, you can see the transition between the headstock and the neck. Very, very smooth. So I played it and I was like, wow, this thing, it plays really nice. They were right. Whoever told me that a 50s custom neck is not your typical 50s Gibson neck was right. And I was like, wow. So he asked me, hey, do you like it? You want it? Want me to make you a deal on it? And I said, no. I'm really looking for a black one. And he goes, oh, I can order it in black, but I don't have one. And I saw one on the wall. So I said, well, what's that? And he goes, oh, that's just a custom. I said, well, yeah, that's what I want. And then that's when I looked at it and realized it wasn't a custom. It was a custom shop. So I said, well, okay, let me play that one and feel the neck. So he gave me that one, and I got to tell you, it is night and day different. I would buy a custom shop standard over a custom every day of the week after playing not one but two customs in there versus this one custom shop. The custom shop is so much nicer all the way around. It's a nicer finish, in my opinion. Maybe it's just the Murphy Lab versus the Murphy Lab on the other one. The neck profile, the feel of the fingerboard and the frets. So this is a Indian rosewood fingerboard. It's a solid mahogany neck, and it's got the historic medium jumbo frets and a nylon nut. Stock tuners. They're not locking tuners. I have not replaced them yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to. I know I say I think it's illegal not to come with locking tuners. I do know that I can get locking tuners where I don't have to drill new holes, that they will be a drop-in replacement. But something about this custom shop guitar makes me not want to change anything. I will put strap locks, shallower buttons on here because all of my straps have the shallower strap locks. I will change the buttons for sure. But like I said, I haven't even changed those yet. And the Nashville show was May 1st and 3rd. And this is going to be released in July. So it's been that long and I haven't even changed the strap locks yet. Or the buttons, I mean. So I'm not sure if I'm going to change the tuners or not. It came with these pickups. These are, I believe, the custom Bucker 3 pickups. They're the Alcoya, Alnique. I can't pronounce it right now. It's all mixed up in my head. They're the custom 3 humbuckers. I did get the nickel, the faded nickel covers in the case with them. And I thought for sure I was going to put them on because I really don't like this look of the pickups. But the more it hangs in the studio, the more I play it, the more I'm kind of growing on this cream pickup style. I know there's a big lawsuit, or there was a big lawsuit. I don't know if it ended, how it ended, if it did end, between Gibson and I believe DiMarzio about the pickups. It might be DiMarzio, or I think it's DiMarzio, about having a patent or a copyright on the double ivory, and Gibson's not allowed to sell them that way. From what I've heard, the story, the rumor, I don't have this official from anyone at Gibson, is that they just they grab them out of the box, you know, when they're making pickups. But what they'll do is they'll put the double ivories on and put the pickup covers over them. And then whatever the customer does with the guitar at that point is not Gibson's fault, which is genius, right? You're making it the customer taking the things off and seeing the double ivory, or double cream, I guess. It's cream, not ivory. But I think the cream and the cream pickup rings and the cream pick guard, along with the poker chip, really look good on it. I'm not normally a fan of anything gold, but I do like these amber knobs, top hat knobs. And then you can see some very light aging on the tailpiece. Of course, it's a Gibson, so it is the ABR1 bridge, which is nice. Cream jack plate has the black back plate along with the custom shop back plate over the three-way toggle switch. This really is a beautiful guitar, and like I say, if you're ever in the Nashville area, or if you want a high-end guitar, reach out to Tony over at Guitar Center Nashville. So, going back to my story about Tony, Jeff, and I sitting in the guitar room at Nashville Guitar Center, I'm playing the custom, and I'm like, man, this doesn't feel as nice. And he's like, no, it doesn't, does it? So I said, let me have that other one back. And he swapped them out, and I started playing it again. And at this time, he goes, want me to see what I can do for you on it? And this time, I said, yeah, let me know. And he told me the price, and I said, okay, well, I don't know about that. There's one condition. You have to ship it to me because I'm not taking it on the airplane. And he laughed. He goes, I can ship it to you, no problem, man. So I walked out of Nashville with no guitar in hand, but a guitar en route. I got back, I flew out Monday, and the guitar showed up Wednesday because it didn't ship out until Monday there. So the guitar and I left the same day. But by the time FedEx got it and everything, it showed up on Wednesday. And I couldn't wait to pull it out and start playing it. It does not disappoint. Nothing about this guitar disappoints. The look, the weight. I'm normally one that likes really heavy guitars. My back, especially the older I get, does not like heavy guitars, but I'm not up on stage for 2 hours, 45 minutes. I'm not up on stage. I could leave the time frame off. I'm not up on stage anymore. And when I was, 25, 30 years ago, it was stages at like parties and things like that. I was never, gigging musician. So mainly I sit anyway. I sit and play. So, the weight is even nice on my leg. So I'm not standing. Even if I was, this guitar would be amazing. I have snake bites that weigh more than this. I mean, they should. Look at how big they are. But my other Les Pauls weigh more than this. And this thing is just incredible. Tony was telling me that another employee kind of ordered the same specs as this, but a different finish. And when this guitar came in, at the same time that employee's guitar came in, and that employee's guitar was like 9.7, and this is 8.1. So you can see the difference there. I'm very happy that I walked out with it, and I was really surprised. Here I go to a city known for high-end guitars, high-end shops, Gibson Garage, Carter's, and then I walk out with a guitar from Guitar Center. I never would have dreamed that would have happened, but I'm glad it did. I can't thank Jeff and Tony enough for, showing me this, showing me around town, playing guitars, looking at drums. I mean, we had a blast in Nashville. And top it off, Metallica. Even with the 45-minute rain delay or storm delay that we had on night 2, and sitting in our ponchos, for some of the night while it rained, even with all of that, it has to be one of the best trips I've taken in a long time. Hanging out with good people, meeting some good people, hanging out with my Metallica friends, and then coming home with a 59 reissue Les Paul Standard Custom Shop guitar was just the icing on the cake. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Again, I know some are shorter than others, some will be longer, but there's not a lot more to say except letting the tone speak its own language.